Good morning, good afternoon, or even perhaps good evening. I want to thank everyone for taking the opportunity to tune into this video that we created here at Grass Lake in terms of interpretation of MAP and IAR student reports. Um, I know as a parent, when the school sends things home, I know there's specific questions that my wife has within our household, or even my son, who's currently in fifth grade. And so we wanted to make this accompanying video just to help as we're going to be sending home MAP and IAR reports tomorrow, Friday, September 22nd. So any student in our building, kindergarten all the way through eighth grade, will be receiving their MAP reports. And then students who last year were in third through eighth grade will be receiving their IAR reports as well. Before I get into the reports themselves, just to provide a little context to the reports themselves and why we give these assessments. We've been giving the MAP assessment, which is we've been doing that since 2003. MAP is used for assistance and placement of students for support services, both intervention and enrichment. Provides us specific student learning progress as a class and as an individual student. So it truly helps us identify some opportunities to continue to move the school and, of course, your child forward in his or her learning. MAP itself, when we're looking at the comparison, we are looking at a set of norms, is what they're referred to, of any student in your child's grade level across the United States who takes the MAP assessment. That is countless school districts, not only in Illinois, but across the United States and even in other countries. Um, these set of norms were released in 2020. That means they were done the 2 years prior to that. So they have not fluctuated due to the pandemic and due to school district specific circumstances during the pandemic. But there will be a new set of norms coming out in 2025 that will reflect more so some of the issues with student learning associated during the pandemic. But these ones are specifically aligned to the 2020 norms. Um, Again, all students in kindergarten through eighth grade took the MAP assessment, and then students with the IAR last year, they were third through eighth grade. MAP is a choice. We take it in the fall, again in the winter, and in the spring, where IAR is required by the state and is part of federally mandated to administer that test as well. And it's done in the springtime. Typically, the results, we get them about this time of year, September, even into October. We've been told that in the future, hopefully that window might start to shrink a little bit, but at this time, we certainly are hopeful that that happens. But right now, we're dealing with it in the rears, if you will, and about 5 to 6 months after our students take it. Um, the IAR test, what it does is it helps us as a school organization better understand how students are progressing through the grades. Also, it aligns to the standards that your children are taught. And if there are certain areas in which perhaps we can do a better job organizationally at meeting students' learning needs by either pointing at a standard and fixating on that, maybe a longer time period, or perhaps even there are times when it wasn't addressed at all. So it provides us an opportunity to look at our teaching as well. Um, you'll see English language arts and math for our IAR assessment. And the one thing I did want to note is when Illinois adopted the IAR test, which was previously known as PARC, PARCC, Illinois was one of the few states who identified that level 4 and level 5 on the test are proficient. A lot of the states in the consortium, they were using level 3 as an indicator of proficient. So they did 3, 4, and 5, but Illinois specifically they look at level 4 and 5 as proficient in their eyes. So I'm going to jump first into the MAP family report. Depending on how long you've been a parent here at GLS, I believe in the past we've sent this one maybe a couple times, but I really like this report, not with my educator hat on, but with my parent hat on. The reason I really like this report is at the top here, you can see we've got just a table here of some of the items below that you'll be seeing, as well as it focuses on the achievement and the percentile and the growth, which I'm going to explain here momentarily. The two big ones here that I wanted to make sure I mentioned are achievement and growth. Achievement, how well your student has learned skills in a subject compared to similar students nationwide. So, in comparison to those norms. And then growth is a measure of your child's personal progress over the year. So, please, those two, and I created these little arrows here just to make sure as you're looking at the report, please make sure if you're looking at achievement or if you're looking at growth. So it provides some sort of context for you on what you're actually looking at. This is not a report of any of our students. This is actually a sample report from NWEA directly. So the dates, you can see here 2021. It is a little outdated, but the report still looks the same. This one was created for an individual named Amanda. And Amanda was at the 76th percentile in terms of achievement. So achievement means a learning level. So Amanda scored higher than 76% of all students who take the MAP assessment, and then lower than, of course, the remaining 24%. So that gives you hopefully a good indicator, not just here within Grass Lake. This is done across everybody who uses the MAP platform. And then growth, which is the box next to it here. Amanda grew 59th at the 59th percentile, meaning that students who were about at her learning level, and that would have been back in fall of 2019, similar grade level, from fall of 19 to fall of 2020, she fell in the 59th percentile. The average, again, is the 50th percentile. So her growth was better than 59% of all students who take the MAP assessment. And then there was 41% of the entire student body across anyone who takes the MAP test that made greater gains than Amanda. So it gives you an idea there as well of how they, of what those two boxes mean. So you can see there, just make sure I want to pinpoint that achievement and growth, they're looked at in separate contexts, just so as you're going through the report, it gives you a better judge of where your child is currently performing. So this is the level they're at, and this is the amount of growth they've made. There's also a family toolkit in which, and I apologize, I'll get this pop up here away. The family toolkit I really like. It's available in multiple languages. So if you're more comfortable in a different language, please review it in that language as well. There's videos. What is MAP growth? It gives you specific stories from students and personal narratives. There's videos about reading fluency and student experience with that. I love these blogs. I shared these with my wife. She looked at them. She didn't go as in depth because I explained some of them, but for those of you who are interested, I really think there's a lot of great information in the blog. And the family report is exactly what we're sending home tomorrow with your children. Family guide to MAP growth, how it works, how it's measured, how it scores. So those of you who want to know, hey, how are these things measured? Who's doing it? How is it fluctuating depending on levels? All of those types of things that's available within the family toolkit. You can certainly get additional facts in regards to MAP testing. You don't need to worry about getting a device ready. We do all of these things at home. And then supporting your learner, how to support your reader, what you can do at home. It explains how just how important it is, and I say it all the time. Partnering with our families is essential to creating um, students who are successful. And there's great resources in here, a College Explorer tool. So please, I implore you, down below this video, there's a link that will bring you directly to the family toolkit. And I do ask, take an opportunity. You don't need to do it right now, but maybe in the next couple days, just check it out. And definitely something I encourage our parents to look at. So again, all of our K-8 students, you should see this report. Our incoming brand new students to us, you will not see, if they've never taken the MAP assessment, you will not see the growth, just because we don't have any historical data. And depending on the grade level, you'll see for sure reading and math across all the grade levels, but language usage and science, those might be added again depending on the grade level that your child is in. Next, we're getting into the IAR score report. The IAR score report, again, this is a test that is taken once a year. This one was taken before spring break. This one is mandated by the state of Illinois, and it requires that all students in 3rd through 8th grade take it. If you have a child who was in 8th grade last year and is a freshman this year, we will be mailing these school reports home. So you will have those in the coming days. And if you, for whatever reason, don't receive yours, please just contact the front office and we'll make sure we get a copy out to you as well. There will be 2 reports with the IAR score report. The first one will be the English language arts, or the literacy assessment, which you can see we've got right up there marked here. Again, this is a sample, so we just pulled the sample from the IAR website. The other thing to note is the scoring and how it's done. So as I said previously, we've got level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Level 1 is did not meet. Level 2 is partially met. Level 3 is approached. Level 4 is met, and level 5 is exceeded. Over here is the scale score. You could see here, this is the middle of the middle of the ground here. This is our 50th percent, and where half the students fall below, half the students fall above, and that's in level 3. This student right here received a 716, so looks like they're falling in about the level 2 area. And then there's additional information right next door where this arrow is pointing about your child's score, so you can get a little bit more information pertaining to what that means, and just a little bit more about the score itself. There's also on the following page with the ELA report, there's an overall reading where your child is with the averages as well, and then an overall writing. So I do want to point out that English language arts is not just reading, but it's writing as well. So it'll show you where your child falls within the writing portion of the exam as well. This is the math one, so you'll see at the top again, mathematics assessment report. Again, levels are still the same, 1 all the way up to 5 exceeding. And then this one looks like we were a little higher here with the level, so looks like a level 4, and then a little bit more explanation about the child's score. So you would see the same thing on your report. And then the other opportunity due to this report is that it breaks it down on the back here just a little bit more about specifics when it comes to math, and perhaps some celebrations at home on where your child is really excelling in math, but also then in terms of moving forward, some possible areas to continue to work through. Much like NWEA, IAR has also created a parent portal. This one, though, is a little unique in that you have your own sign-on. It should be the same sign-on for both math and ELA, but that's located right here next to the arrow. If you're looking at your report, there's also a QR code if you'd like to just use a smart phone or device and be able to scan it and bring it to. And then there's the code that you'll need in order to create an account. So that's how you would create the account for the parent portal. And going into the parent portal, it'll bring you to this page. You'll need to sign up and do so following this link here. But there's also, once you get in, it's going to be a lot more pinpointed to your child or depending on children. But there's a lot of great information here. There's interpretation guides, so you can truly go through the report, look at it in greater detail, and have an accompanying document to look at with it. There's parent videos, there's tools, determine Lexile ranges and whatnot. So what books might be push your students, stretch them is what I like to say, and continue to have them grow. What books might be maybe a little too advanced at this point, and what range they're at, and of course maybe some that are even they can do it on an independent basis as well. For those of you who want to even see, let's say you've never had a student who's tested it and you're currently in third grade, you want to see what it looks like. There's even practice tests. Now, I will tell you that it is common practice throughout Grass Lake and all the schools throughout Illinois to make sure we go over the technological requirements and whatnot and share with our students how they do it. But if that's something too that you'd elect to do with your child, you can certainly go through some practice test tutorials and whatnot to help in that capacity as well. Okay. So that again, this was just an accompanying video we wanted to send out just to explain these reports a little bit. But as part of the cover letter that you've received, I do want to read this portion to you. I encourage you to reach out to your child's teacher or myself with any questions you might have about your child's score report or academic progress. MAP and IAR are data points that provide feedback on your child's progress, but no single test provides a complete picture of student performance, and the MAP and IAR assessments are simply one of the many factors that we use to measure student progress. So if you got a report that comes home and it's showing your student did an amazing job on it and you are pleasantly surprised, that's great news, something to certainly celebrate, and talk with your child's teacher about just some added opportunities and what they're doing to, whether that be enrichment or within the classroom, those types of things. So please, certainly reach out to your child's teacher. But also looking at the other side of the coin there, if your child didn't perform as well on maybe IAR, MAP, or both, again, just looking at the score reports, going through it, conversing with your child's teacher, myself, if there's added information that's needed. But there are a lot of wonderful supports and whatnot here at Grass Lake that we do provide for our students. So, but I do want to come back to these. These are just part of the puzzle as we're sitting down and looking at all of our students, your children, as we continue to educate them here at Grass Lake. And then at the end of it, let's just know that this is a test. This is only a test. And, a lot of different factors come into it. Sometimes, much like adults, kids come in and they're tired or their mind's on other things. So it is a snapshot. So I do like to look at these things in a broad spectrum and not just one individual test. So please, again, if it's one way or the other, I think it's certainly, if it's higher than you were anticipating, let's celebrate. If it's lower than you were anticipating, again, we really want to, as a school, look at the pattern there that's associated with that as well. So please, I do ask, reach out to your child's teacher or myself if there are any questions regarding this. I hope this video was informative. We're always looking for feedback. So up above this, we've got our virtual suggestion box. So even if there's more information you'd like, or you'd like to leave any feedback pertaining to these, I'd love to hear from you. And then directly below are the links that will bring you to the Family Toolkit, which is NWEA, which is MAP, and then the IAR Parent Portal to help just in terms of the reporting and moving forward. Again, hope you found this video helpful, and appreciate any feedback that you might want to leave in regards to moving forward. And I hope everyone has a great day, great weekend, and look forward to sending you home those reports again on Friday, September 22nd. And I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks for tuning in.